So Pixar's newest film, Elemental, is now out in theaters, and it is, according to the reports that we have out there, not just a disappointing opening for the Pixar film, but now, according to the news, it is the second lowest opening weekend in the history of Pixar films, only behind the original Toy Story that came out so many years ago. That was it. And it only beat it by like $400,000. So once the actuals come out, if they adjust that opening weekend a little bit, and if it goes down, that $29.5 million that Elemental has made on its opening weekend could actually go down a little bit lower. And if it does, it could end up being the lowest opening weekend in the history of Pixar. And this is really a shame. It's always a shame to talk about a film financially struggling that is actually a really good film. And look, I'm probably like a lot of people where I wasn't entirely sure what to expect from Elemental. I mean, I liked the first 15 minutes they showed us at CinemaCon. That was good, but I still didn't really know what to expect from it. I thought the trailers were pretty good, what have you, but I didn't know what to expect. And I ended up adoring this film. Not top shelf Pixar. It's not in the same league as, say, The Incredibles or Up or Ratatouille, but it's a really solid movie that was purely enjoyable, very funny, and I ended up grinning like an idiot walking out. And I know my wife, Anne, she wants to go back and watch it again. It's a really charming, wonderful, also has some depth to it, really telling a immigration story really at the heart of it, but still making it very light, very fun, and it was just a charming, charming film. But it struggled. And much like The Flash, where earlier today we made another video talking about why did The Flash have so many struggles, we got to look a little bit about why did Elemental struggle. I think one of the things I need to bring up here is that, like me, I'm sure a lot of people weren't really knowing what to expect from this film. I mean, the marketing campaign was okay, but it wasn't great. Certainly not enough to overcome a perception problem that Pixar has had recently. And that's the main thing I want to talk about here, is a perception problem that Pixar is having right now with their films. Because it used to be, if you go back into 2019, 2018, 2017, a Pixar film coming out was an event. Pixar films were events. But that was the perception of Pixar at the time. Unfortunately, due to the leadership of Bob Chapek over at Disney, you remember Bob Chapek, he was CEO at Disney for a while, and you got to keep in mind that he did take over Disney under the worst possible circumstances. He did, with the pandemic hitting, the cruise lines not cruising, the theme parks not parking, no movies were in production, no movie theaters were open to play their movies in. It was a very, very rough spot for Bob Chapek. That being said, he made a number of really bad decisions, and we've talked about a lot of them, but I want to focus in on here the decision he made to drop and dump Pixar films on Disney+. Because let's look at this. When we look at the last number of films that have come out for Pixar, Soul, which was good, Luca, which was good, Turning Red, which is absolutely fantastic, and I still contend should have won the Academy Award for Best Animated Film that year. All these films were just dropped on Disney+. None of them had theatrical releases. And we talked about the stories on our channel of the fact that Pixar's rank and file employees were really upset that their films are just being dumped on streaming. And even if you go before Soul, there was Raya and the Last Dragon, a movie that had a lot of work put into it. Again, quite a good movie, not one of Pixar's best, but quite a good movie. And they did the whole day and date release experiment where they put it out in theaters, sure, but it wasn't a real theatrical release because they put it on Disney Plus on the same day. So when you're looking all the way from Raya, and then we go from Raya into this set of three films that we have here, that all these films, for years now, Pixar films were dumped on Disney Plus, and the perception of Pixar films became one of home video. The perception of Pixar has changed to that of home video. They lost all their momentum, and the perception of Pixar now is not a theatrical event. They're seen as cartoons on TV. And then they did put out Lightyear. They gave Lightyear a theatrical release. Well, that's unfortunate because that movie ended up being pretty disappointing to a lot of people. It had a great first act, fabulous first act, but then it kind of fell apart a little bit after that. And so you've got years of films being dumped on Disney Plus, and then the one film they do come out with was very confusing. It's like, wait a minute, is this Toy Story? Is it not Toy Story? And it wasn't a very good film. They kind of set up Elemental, which combined with its own little bit of a struggles with its own marketing campaign, to being the second lowest opening weekend in the history of the studio. How does Pixar fix this? Can they fix this? Well, I think Bob Iger, the former and now returning CEO of Disney, I think he's on the right track. You know, a lot of people rolled their eyes a little bit, guys, when Bob Iger came out and said, hey, we're going to do another Frozen. We're going to do another Toy Story. And there was a third one. There was a third one that was getting a sequel. I can't, part 3 or part 4. I can't remember what it was anyway. But he came out and announced a bunch of sequels, and a lot of people rolled their eyes a little bit. But really, when you look at the state that Pixar's in right now, they need to get that perception back that the Pixar films are events. And the only way you're going to do a radical change in public perception of your brand, I think, is to come out swinging big with your bigger names. Your Frozen, which is still one of the Frozen films, is the second highest animated film of all time.
It was Zootopia.
And Zootopia, thank you, yep. Ray. Zootopia getting out there. Big name Zootopia, big name Toy Story, big name Frozen. You've got to reestablish the name of the brand. And so while I love that Pixar has been putting out original stuff like Soul, like Turning Red, like Elemental, they got to right the ship. And maybe to do that, they need to go back to their old, reliable ones like Toy Story, like Zootopia, like Frozen, because those will get big box office and hopefully reestablish the perception again that a Pixar film is a theatrical event. We want to thank a sponsor of this video, Mint Mobile. From the gas pump to the grocery store, your utility bills and favorite streaming services, inflation is everywhere. Seriously, make it stop. Thankfully, there's one company out there that's giving you a much needed break. It's Mint Mobile. As the first company to sell premium wireless service online only, Mint Mobile lets you order from home and save a ton with phone plans starting at just $15 a month. You guys know that ever since I switched to Mint Mobile, I've been saving almost 70% a month over my old phone plan. For people looking for extra savings this year, Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for just $15 a month. By going online only and eliminating the traditional cost of retail, Mint Mobile passes the significant savings on to you. All of their plans come with unlimited talk and text plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and keep your same phone number along with all your existing contacts. Switch to Mint Mobile and get premium wireless service starting at just $15 a month. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and get the plan shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/Campea. That's mintmobile.com/Campea. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/Campea. Guys, question is for you. What do you think about this whole thing? Were you one of the very few people that actually went out to watch Elemental? If so, what did you think of it? Did you find it charming and wonderful like I did? Maybe you liked it more, maybe you liked it less. Do you think maybe there's other problems plaguing Pixar right now besides the fact that they just dumped all their films on Disney Plus and they're suffering a major perception problem right now? Whatever you guys think about all that, jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks for checking out this video. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, but more importantly, make sure you subscribe to our daily podcast, the John Campea Show podcast, available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and your favorite podcasting app of choice.